I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. I want you to get up right now. Get up, go to your windows, open them, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this.
Yes, Network. That was in the 1970s. And some would say it's as relevant today as relevant today as it was then. Network. I wonder what year that film was. I think it was 74 or 75. But I'm thinking of that. Yeah, Network was I guess it was 1976. The same year that Rocky came out, and Rocky beat the film Network. Rocky was a much more upbeat film than Network. But I'm just looking out there. Today was election day. And I can remember when we had moderates. Now everybody caters to I guess what they would be considered the America First, the Trump Republicans, and I guess the Democrats cater to the woke. And you don't have to be woke, I guess, to support a Democrat. And you don't have to be a Trump sycophant to support the Republicans, and you could support Trump even if you don't like everything that he does. But where is a place for moderation? Where are the moderates? And Political Woodstock said she made a clip of JP. Now, Political Woodstock, I have given you, and I'll give you one again. I've given you a I've given you I've given you a thing. So if you wanted to speak your mind, you're welcome to. But where is the place for moderation? I did put it on Discord. Yes, I did. So you're welcome to come in. Now, YouTube doesn't allow for moderates. Rabbit holes of hate go down completely different tunnels. And again, I can remember not too long ago, we had pro-choice Republicans and pro-life Democrats. 30, 40 years ago. Actually, less than 40 years ago. Maybe not necessarily less, less than 20 years ago, but throughout the 80s and the 90s, particularly in the Republican Party, there was a rather vocal, I don't know if they were the majority, but you had a rather vocal group of pro-life, pro-choice Republicans. And they won seats. And there were senators and governors that were pro-choice. And I don't know if a pro-choice Republican could win today. I think, though, you are going to see more of a larger group of pro-choice Republicans kind of make a comeback. I could be wrong. And I don't know how big of an effect this is going to have on the midterms because inflation is really huge. But this is something that is a precedent. Angela may have a different opinion, and I've invited her to come on Discord and discuss. I've also invited Joe, and I've invited a few other people on. Yeah, well, Darren, I guess we could do something like that. Now, I was talking to a gentleman, and I think I stated with, it's sad how divided our nation has become. I can remember both pro-choice Republicans and pro-life Democrats. What happened to moderation? And then I think it's I don't know how to say his name, but he said, we are witnessing yet another example of the mythology associated with the left and right paradigm. Government is force. Government is politics, and government always grows. This occurs regardless of which political party are the wing of which Supreme Court holds the reins of power. This is precisely the reason government must be held to a strict minimum. And I ask him, is that possible? Is that something that is possible with human nature being what it is? And he says, I'm not certain. We may be beyond the point of no return. And I said that suffering can make people grow and can make people desperate and foolish. And the last thing that Jefferson said was, human suffering is inevitable. The only variable is to what extent. And yeah, human suffering is inevitable. And sometimes I think that we can compound our suffering. We will make it worse. We will do things by nature that will make it worse, because of course we want, as human beings, I think we want the immediate and quick fix. And human beings, I don't think we're logical. We are more, perhaps more communal than we are logical. So we're not necessarily thinking of the long term. And, you can say we're thinking of our children, but if I remember the debates about Social Security, and the numbers were even with people saying you're getting more than you get out of it, and this was in the 90s. There were people arguing about the Social Security system and how it wouldn't be there for people of my age. And Angela saying having problems with the settings. Okay, well, not anymore. I'm seeing that the problems have disappeared. Angela is here. Now, Angela was upset, not with me. I think she was upset with Joe, but Joe is not here. I don't know what happened to Joe. He may show up later. But
and he disappeared.
He did, but you know what? That's not with intent. Joe sometimes does do things, and I did plan a show, but he's not there. Now, do you think, Angela, you believe that this Supreme Court ruling is going to have a large effect on the midterms? Do you care to comment on that?
Yes, because a majority of women disagree with the decision, and it's easy to see who supports the rights, the autonomy of women. It is the Democrats. The Republicans are not going to do that. And they've been rather dirty. Both sides are dirty, I should say. But when it comes to this issue, I don't think a 11-year-old girl should have to carry her rapist baby. And that's happening in Texas. I'm in the South, and a lot of the trigger laws were located in the South, like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. They're even trying to outlaw the IUD, and it looks like some type of bill went through in the state of Missouri, where it's considered murder to use an IUD. I'm gobsmacked with these Republicans, these far-right conservatives, I should say, because they're not all Republicans. The language they use, how do they expect women who will rise up like an army how do they expect us just to sit idly by? We won't. Concluded.
And the truth is, I don't know what the effects are going to be of this election, just due to the fact that we are seeing like what seems to be like record gas prices and record inflation. And how much of an effect will people just kind of hold their nose? And for some people, abortion's not that big of an issue. You and I are both old enough to remember when we had when there were pro-choice Republicans and pro-life Democrats. I mean, very few pro-life Democrats, by the way. There was
quite a few, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But there were, I mean, there were more numerous pro-choice Republicans, and I believe I belonged to a pro-choice Republican coalition when I was younger, and because I thought it was kind of a loser issue, and I was for less government in your life, and I was much more of a libertarian kind of Republican, and my views certainly may have changed. certainly with social media and with regards to social media, I have kind of mixed feelings on certain things, like the way social media censors and the way corporate media has kind of gobbled up our freedoms, so to speak, and our freedom even to debate certain issues. And that for me is a large issue. But yeah, so you still believe that regardless of the economic situation with regards to gas prices and high inflation, you still believe that this is going to cost the Republicans the possible red wave and even red tsunami that they may have. Would that be correct?
Oh, come on. A red tsunami. That is not going to happen. I predicted that they would reverse Roe versus Wade. Remember? It was a couple months ago. You didn't believe me, and it happened. And gas is going down, by the way. It's only 4.30 in Oklahoma, at least where I'm at. And it used to be almost 4.90. So it's starting to go down. The releases of oil from the reserves in the United States, I think, are making an impact. Now, I had a discussion with you earlier that part of the inflation with the gas prices is the rollbacks on the executive orders that Trump did on the refineries to loosen up uh, the refineries' freedoms, I guess is a good way to say it. And Biden turned those back. And I think that's why we're seeing inflation in gas prices as we have been for the last couple months. So I think part of the fault lies with Biden there. I do not believe in encroachment with on our bodies, on our lives. I don't believe in governmental encroachment. I do believe in national health care. If we can spend billions, hundreds of billions of dollars on warfare, things that you would need for a war, why can't we cover national health care? It seems senseless to have all this. Oh, I don't know what the word is. It just seems senseless to have to go through all this when most civilized countries have safe abortions. Because this will not stop abortions. It's not going to stop it. It will just decrease safe abortions. Concluded.
Well, I did wanted to say you live in an oil state, and yeah, I mean, I have rather mixed feelings about that. And again, I don't know if this is going to bring about maybe some forms of moderation. For me, the way the media has handled so much of the things, and you talk about war, we can't even discuss whether the policies of the Ukraine and the money that we're sending there is an intelligent decision, and also the manner in which the corporate press has handled the vaccine and the people with vaccine hesitancy. I think they've been rather reckless with regards to their behavior, and they haven't been called out on that behavior because they control. I think they have a lot of control over social media today.
I have a question. When you talked about are you talking about vaccine mandates,
Well,
forced vaccination?
I'm talking about the manner in which the media has handled it, and
Handled what?
well, the way they've handled the news of the vaccine, and when they universally said that Joe Rogan was taking the type of ivermectin he was taking, they're saying that he was taking horse dewormer when when they should have known that there are two types of ivermectin. There is one for livestock and there is one for humans. And Joe,
That's true. I was prescribed ivermectin, but because I heard the phrase horse dewormer, I'm like, I'm sick already. I'm not going to take that. I'm like, I'll have a reaction because I have reactions. But I agree with you on how the media has, I like to call it a verbal gangbang. They team up on one podcaster or one small YouTuber, and they just, nothing you can say in your defense is good enough. And when I come to a position, when I've had people go after me, to never speak on the defense, speak on the offense, speak in fact, not to speak in defense. And this is something we need to talk about when the media goes after you. It's wrong. It's wrong. And it's encroachment in in our social digital world. It's encroachment on our personal lives. And I don't know how to fix that. But we're talking about a lot of different topics here. We're talking about encroachment. We're talking about how the media handles certain voices in the social digital world. And life is crazy. I mean, the Supreme Court came out with some more decisions today. Had you heard about those? Concluded.
no, I haven't. I'm just, I'm hearing a lot of the talking heads, and I'm just hearing a lot of different things. But and I was thinking also of election integrity, and when the mainstream media just goes the big lie. Well, they're not giving more details on why is it the big lie, and why are they saying that this was, the 2020 election was the most secure election in history. That's not true.
Propaganda. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's propaganda. Hitler would say that you've been stabbed in the back, or that I was stabbed in the back, and then he would say you've been stabbed in the back. Well, at one point in your life, you have been stabbed in the back. Someone did you wrong. Someone did you dirty. And if I can get you to connect with that, then whatever I'm saying, you're more apt to believe it is propaganda. Now, I would say Gigi knows a lot about propaganda. I've heard him speak on it. And maybe that might be a good discussion between you and him. How is propaganda being used in major market media as it is today? It is encroachment on your daily lives. We spend so much time on media. We're spending time on media right now. What if we channeled our energies and wrote a book, got your degree, finished your degree, all those hours. I spend way too much on social media. I listen to YouTube far too much. But I don't know. I'm really relooking at my life and seeing how I can do better and have a more full and valued life. And I realize I've gone off topic here, but there's just so much going on. I don't know. What's your chat room saying?
Chat room's not saying anything right now. I don't know why, but there aren't too many people here. But you're right. So many people are just, they're not, they are connected to a lot of different, I mean, we are connected online, but I don't know if we're really connected with in person. And so many people, like, I gotta say, some of the problem may be that there is no place for the moderates, because if you come in as a moderate, you get shut down immediately. If you come down saying I'm a pro, like, because I could be, a pro-choice Republican at one time. I don't know if I could be that today. And we're not, like this whole thing with the pandemic, we were inside for so long that I think it really hurt a lot of moderation out there. And like I said, there is a debate for abortion and the rights and if it's a, I mean, the truth is there is no compromise with my right, my body, my choice to abortion is murder. Now there was a time, and this was like 30 years ago. I remember there were more women that were pro-life than there were men. I don't know what the statistics are today, but I
I
know that.
don't know what the numbers are either, but I can tell you our culture has changed because of the pandemic, and our Supreme Court has changed because of Trump. You know, whether or not I believe it was dirty or not, how they did it, the Supreme Court has changed. I think we can all see that. And I don't know. I was listening to your show the other night, and I'm going to bring up JP if he's listening. You know, he said that women need to realize what happens when they give birth and when they have an abortion. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? That type of mentality is what gets us riled up. You know, that type of speech. We need to know what we're talking about. And I try to do that, but I mess up. I mess up all the time. But I do my best to bring evidence based statements that I can back up what I say. And I don't think he could back up what he said. And I'm a little bit irked at him, and I made a clip, and well, I made a clip. And
Well, I'll say this: I don't care. You know, like, you know, as a human being that doesn't carry something for 9 months,
mm-hmm.
and you know doesn't have. I mean, men can shoot and scoot. Women are left with that decision, you know, for a long time. You know, for far longer. That's why women, to a degree, I think, are more selective with regards to sexual mates, and men are not. Men, you know, they get their pleasure and they go, but women have to probably make sure that the man is healthy, and you know, like, because if they do decide to I mean, if they do get pregnant, what they're
Well,
carrying, you know, I mean,
more
it's
often than
yeah.
not, it's not a decision to become pregnant. A person may have a husband that's overly aggressive and doesn't believe in birth control. You can have, you know, that word we can't say on YouTube. You know, someone may force a pregnancy upon a woman. You know, there's just too many problems. Representative Mickey Dolenz from Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, put a bill through the House. It didn't make it all the way through, but it was to force 18-year-old men, 18 and older, to get a vasectomy. You know, and I think Viagra should not be covered by the government anymore. You know, that should, all those helps to have a healthy sex life, I think that should all end for men, you know, because it's overwhelming. It is so overwhelming as a woman right now, you know, to have to go back to the 1960s, the 1950s with the hangers. Do you know how painful that is to have an abortion with a hanger? I mean, who would subject a 14-year-old girl who doesn't know how to do that? Who would subject her to that? An unsafe abortion. I don't know how often I could say that word. So trying to be cautious. But I would like to hear from people that were discussing, you know, how do I say this? The encroachment of my body from my own government. You know, I would like to hear why they said those things the other night. You know, that because you're right. You don't have a uterus. You can't carry life, whether it's forced upon you or you decided to. Um, I wish Liz was here. Is Liz listening? I would really like to hear her input. Concluded. I talked too long. Sorry.
I have no idea, but I don't know if anyone said it's Trump's fault that inflation and gas prices are up. Actually, Angela was admitting that it was Biden who was at fault for gas
That's
prices,
right.
yeah, and inflation being up. We have the labia laborer, and I think that is Howard. Howard, okay, Howard, your mic, Howard.
Are you kidding me, Angela? Back to the hangers. Where's that come from?
Well, a lot of people have performed a self abortion with a hanger,
Yeah, a
a
lot of people
wire
are
foot
stupid.
hanger.
A lot
Well,
of
I mean,
people
it's
are really
going to happen
stupid.
again. Why not
How do you
ensure
know?
that abortions are safe? Because people are desperate. That's why.
Why do you need abortions?
Because it's an unwanted pregnancy. It's a medically fragile pregnancy. Perhaps the pregnancy is
Medically
from
fragile?
incest.
What does that mean, medically fragile?
Well, I've had a number of miscarriages. It's hard for me to carry life, and I almost died once from bleeding too much. I call that medically fragile, Howard. You know,
So
yeah.
you're the exception that proves the rule, Angela?
Well, I'm just saying, in my case, I had miscarriages that I
You
almost
didn't
died
say that
from.
in my case. You just gave that as an example of I don't.
Well, yes, it's an example. It's
Howard,
not uncommon.
please do something. There's wind in the
Yeah,
background.
there is wind.
Yeah, and I can absolutely hear that. So,
And I'm glad Howard's here. He's intelligent. Even if he disagrees with me, he's very intelligent. You
sorry to
know,
put you on mute, but that sound was kind of annoying.
About
well,
the
I'm sure
fucking
he'll fix
wind.
it. Okay, maybe it's a fan. I know how that goes.
Who's intelligent?
You are.
Sure, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know,
And you want
I
to
got
hear
more of a
from
good
Liz
view.
why? Because Liz has got
Okay, okay. I know that's a
a
sore
uterus.
point for you.
All right, guys.
I like
It's not a
how
sore
she
point for
puts
me.
things.
no,
I
no,
like
no,
how
no,
she
no,
puts
no,
things,
It's
Howard.
not a
no, no.
sore point for me.
Well, I mean, there's a history. And I like to
He
hear
left.
from
He
her
left. He
because
left. He's gone.
well,
I don't
well,
know
I'm
why
just
he left,
saying,
but he's gone
if
now.
I can finish, uh, I like to hear from her because of how she puts things. Now, I don't always like how she puts things, but in this area, man, I couldn't wait to hear what she has to say. Even if I disagree, she would make it witty and full of evidence. She would bring numbers and figures, and she would do all of that. I wish she was on your show more often because sometimes with the medication I'm on, I can't speak correctly like I used to. And I find that frustrating. But I like to hear from Howard too. I think he's very intelligent, probably more intelligent than Liz, but don't tell her. But I'm getting hoarse. I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry. I'll mute myself.
I think the big question in the midterms is, will the Let's Go Brandon crowd win, or will the My Body, My Choice people win? That's who it's going to be between. And do you have we already know where you are going to stand. Do you tend to do you have any expansion on that?
Well, are you talking about an actual election? Are
Well,
you
the
talking
midterms.
about a
The midterms.
cultural change?
The midterms.
The midterms. Well, you're going to have the people that will talk about the inflation because it's a huge problem. It hasn't been this bad since Carter. The rate of inflation going up so high. And I really think it's going to be a blue wave. It's going to be a tsunami. It's going to be a flood just because of the outrage. And people are organizing. For example, they talk about camping trips. In a state like mine or Arkansas or Missouri, you have to say you're going camping. You can't say you're going to another state to get services for your body because they can come after you, fine you, jail you for taking someone across state lines in order for them to get medical procedures, such as an abortion. Um, so I think it's going to be a violent summer. I really do believe that. It'll be violent. It's not going to be in, say, like the state of Washington. It's going to start out small in the states like what I'm in. People are going to come to our states. Just give them time. They're organizing still. But I guess that's what I have to say on the Go Brandon because I don't think he'll be able to run for being the president again, especially after today. Did you hear that hearing? Oh my Lord. Just oh my Lord. that was just sad. That was just sad. Did you hear what happened, or were you able to watch part of the hearing concluded?
I heard it. Now we have Howard on again. Howard,
What was sad, Angela?
she said the hearing. And
The
take
hearing
yourself
what?
off the show, please. I can hear myself.
Your Biden was in what hearing?
January.
Yeah, which is a joke. And what did you say about inflation?
Inflation has not been this bad. There's an echo.
Yeah, I
Since
get it.
Carter.
Oh, you know what it is? It's this stupid StreamYard, which I hate.
It could be.
No, it is. It definitely is. It's StreamYard. I don't have an echo normally.
No, I've never heard you have an echo.
Oh,
So what are your thoughts on inflation and how it fits in the American paradigm right now?
Biden created it. You don't think so?
I think he made a number of poor choices that made the inflation
What
that
does
we're
that mean?
bound to
Does that
have
mean he created it?
astronomic. I haven't
Does
seen
that
it.
mean, it was about to happen?
No,
How about
some was
gasoline?
going to happen because of the pandemic,
Oh,
but he
nonsense.
made it astronomically worse.
He did. So he gets the blame, right?
Yes, he gets a good part of the blame.
Who gets the other part?
The pandemic.
The pandemic is to blame?
Part of it, because we went.
The pandemic response is
Okay,
your
don't ask
government.
me a question and not let me answer.
Well, the
But you go ahead.
pandemic response, Angela, is the government. It's not the pandemic didn't make decisions by itself. You know, I just got woken up. I was dreaming really good, and all of a sudden, I hear Mr. Midnight Movie and Bathtub Girl, and I think, what kind of fucking dream is this? It wasn't a dream. It was playing on my headset as I slept.
I'm so glad you enjoyed my voice, that you called in. That just makes me so happy.
I called in to make it stop. I woke up to make it stop. I thought, what do I need to do? Cut off an ear?
Yes.
Well, I love you too.
Okay, so now
jump out a window.
How much of I have a balcony on the 8th floor, you idiot? How much blame did you get?
Beautiful balcony. I love those chairs on your balcony.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody should see how beautiful your place is and your view. I mean, you really are living the life. I wish we were in America, but you're the smart one. You got out.
I'm the one that's always been the smart one.
He's a coward.
Right. You have idiots like him.
Why do you call him a coward? He was smart. Does he have that $6 or $8 per gallon gas like you do in California? No, he doesn't.
Not staying in the fight. He ran away.
He ran away.
Are you an idiot?
He's still there.
Are you an idiot?
StreamYard's probably messing up, like you said.
Oh, StreamYard's a piece of shit.
Well, it's better than nothing, and I think it helps make podcasts happen on YouTube. It's helpful.
Yeah, maybe.
So tell me what your take is on inflation and what America could do to fix it.
So both of you have a different opinion on, because there was a testimony from a woman today.
What are you talking about? Both of us.
The January 6th hearing.
You haven't heard my opinion yet.
Go ahead.
So what opinion are you talking about?
I'm talking about...
Do things automatically play in your head? You think?
Well, there's a lot of hot topics today, and so maybe he was thinking about the January 6th hearing with that. I think she's 24 years old, a young lady that was a White House aide to Mark Meadows. So it was pretty inflammatory, if I do say myself.
Is that right? What'd she say?
Well, should I play the clip right now?
Yes.
How long is the clip? Hold on. How long is the clip?
Here's what she said.
How long is the clip? And stop talking like you're a baby.
January.
Here's what she said.
I remember feeling
Howard, be nice.
Somebody needs to control it.
Really, it felt personal. I was really sad. As an American, I was disgusted. It was unpatriotic. It was un-American. We were watching the Capitol building get defaced over a lie.
Oh
Today,
my.
first time Hutchinson publicly appeared before the committee, but she has spoken several other times.
Who is she?
She's Hutchinson. She, let's see here.
Is she a Democrat?
Trump's conduct.
Yes.
No, Republican.
You
I
will
doubt
also
it.
hear new information regarding the actions and statements of Mr. Trump's senior advisor that day, including his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and his White House counsel,
I see. What about Mr. Trump?
bearing on what President Trump and members of the White House staff knew
Oh,
about
this is good.
violence on January 6th.
What did they know?
That violence began. To best communicate the
Oh, hold on. Put that on pause.
information
Okay.
What's her position in the White House?
The young lady,
Yes, the young lady.
she was a former White House aide to Mark Meadows. She was
For
inside when a lot of these events
Why
happened.
is she a former?
Well, because he's no longer president.
Yeah, did she finish out the term or did she
Yes.
leave prior?
Here, I'm going to play this clip. I don't know.
Okay. I'll mute
Well,
myself.
if you don't know what something is, why are you playing something?
But he still was angry about the extra space and wanted more people to come in.
He was
And
angry.
did you go to the rally in the presidential motorcade?
I was there, yes, in the motorcade.
And were you backstage with the president and other members of his staff and family?
I was.
And you told us, Ms. Hutchinson, about particular comments that you heard while you were in the tent area.
When we were in the offstage announce area tent behind the stage, he was very concerned about the shot, meaning the photograph that we would get because the rally space wasn't full. One of the reasons, which I previously stated, was because he wanted it to be full and for people to not feel excluded because they'd come far to watch him at the rally. And he felt the mags were at fault for not letting everybody in. But another leading reason, and likely the primary reason, is because he wanted it full and he was angry that we weren't letting people through the mags with weapons, what the Secret Service deemed as weapons and our weapons. But when we were in the offstage announce tent, I was part of a conversation. I was in the vicinity.
Hold on a second. Put that on hold.
Yes.
The President of the United States was upset because the Secret Service wasn't allowing people to come through where he was with weapons. Is that right? Did I just hear that?
But that's correct. He did
That's
not.
correct,
He said that they would
In Washington,
not hurt
D.C.,
me,
where
is
it's
what he was
illegal to have those weapons.
That's
did
correct.
I hear that correctly?
Yes. Oh, it gets better.
Does that make any sense at all?
Well, Trump doesn't make sense to me.
No, that's not an answer. I asked you, did that make sense at all? Don't give me Trump or Henry Kissinger or Meyer Kahane.
Insurrection? Can we say it was an
Doesn't make
insurrection
any
day?
It wasn't an insurrection, Angela. Your Antifa and the Black Lives Matter
Oh, I am
scum
not Antifa. You take that
burned
back, Howard.
down your Antifa, the left's Antifa.
No,
Your Antifa,
I am
and
not
Black Lives
that.
Matter.
Black Lives Matter? Are you kidding me? I'm not
Well,
involved.
Angela,
I got to bring
you
my
are
voice
you are a
down.
member of the Ku Klux Klan now, right?
No, not a member. You call and ask.
But you tend to call and ask who? The Grand Poobah?
I guess.
Who would I
I'm
call?
definitely.
No, I want to know now. Who would I make a phone call to?
Howard,
Look it up in the
Let's
phone
go
book.
back to the
Look it up in the phone
insurrection
book.
and the
Where would you
intern.
find? Where
We
would you
can talk
find that?
about that another time, all right?
No. But where would
Now,
you
why
find
don't we
that?
talk about the young
Would
lady,
you
the
find that in the
intern?
white pages? Where would it be? Where would I make that call?
Howard. Okay, guys, this conversation is really going.
Oh, stop being such a baby. You know, grow a pair of balls.
That's enough, Howard.
Come on,
He
guys.
doesn't
Enough.
have any balls.
Enough.
He's
Let's
a
go
man
back to
with
the
no soul.
intern. It gets even better. You're not going to believe what
Oh,
happens
I'm
next.
sure. No, I'm sure I wouldn't believe it.
Well,
let me
listen
play
to it.
So let me see.
clip.
Trump wanted people with weapons to get through security. Is that what you're saying?
They're not here to hurt me. Take that.
Yes. He wanted them to bring the you know, the machines that you go through to see if you have metal and all that. He wanted those taken away so he could have a bigger
Oh,
crowd
bullshit.
for his rally. No,
Bullshit.
listen.
So this woman says nonsense like that, and first,
Oh, it
for
gets even
one thing,
better.
it's not up. It's
That's
not up
just
to
the tip
Trump.
of the iceberg.
It's not up to Trump. It's up to Secret Service. Secret Service takes care of that.
He tried to strangle the head of the Secret Service. It
He
gets better.
tried to strangle the head of the Secret Service, Donald J. Trump,
Yes.
with his
And
bare
then he
hands.
tried to turn. He
You mean
tried
the
to turn
same
the
hands that
limo.
he puts? You mean the same hands he puts around a Big Mac? He wanted to put around the throat of the head of Secret Service.
I'm telling you, it gets better.
That's and wait a minute. Did she
Brian,
say
go ahead and
that?
play the clip.
Yes.
Did she say that?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
She said that he wanted to use the hands that he uses to pick
All
up
right,
a Big Mac.
Let's go to the rest, Howard. Let's go to the rest.
Howard. How many times you gonna
Howard,
say
can you
my
just mute
name?
yourself for until you hear it, and then you can scream?
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss. I'll mute myself. But I'm kind of curious about the hands that held the Big Mac around the throat of the Secret Service guy.
Morning, you know, it's not the issues that we encountered on the campaign. We have enough space, or they don't want to come in right now. They have weapons that they don't want confiscated by the Secret Service, and they're fine on the mall. They can see you on the mall, and they want to march straight to the Capitol from the mall.
The president apparently wanted all attendees inside the official rally space and repeatedly said, quote, "They're not here to hurt me." And just to be clear, so he was told again in that conversation, or was he told again in that conversation, that people couldn't come through the mags because they had weapons?
Correct.
And that people, and his response was to say they can march to the Capitol from the ellipse.
Something to the effect of, take the effing mags away. They're not here to hurt me. Let them in. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol after the rally's over. They can march from the ellipse. Take the effing mags away. Then they can march to the Capitol.
Ms. Hutchinson, what we saw when those clips were playing were photos provided by the National Archives showing the president in the offstage tent before his speech on the ellipse. You were in some of those photos as well. And I just want to confirm that is when you heard the president say the people with weapons weren't there to hurt him, and that he wanted the Secret Service to remove the magnetometers.
That's correct. In the photos that you displayed, we were standing towards the front of the tent with the TVs, really close to where he would walk out to go onto the stage. These conversations happened 2 to 3 minutes before he took the stage that morning.
Let's reflect on that for a moment. President Trump was aware that a number of the individuals in the crowd had weapons and were wearing body armor. And here's what President Trump instructed the crowd to do.
We're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
And the crowd, as we know, did proceed to the Capitol. It soon became apparent to the Secret Service, including the Secret Service teams in the crowd, along with White House staff, that security at the Capitol would not be sufficient.
I've had 2 or 3 phone conversations with Mr. Ornato.
How long is this clip?
And then I had...
Hello, how long is it?
I left the
It looks like it's,
the dining room, and I noticed
I don't know.
open in the bathroom.
Why
Maybe
didn't I
8
see this
minutes
on
longer.
any of the mainstream media? Why didn't they cover it?
It was on C-SPAN. It was on every mainstream media.
I didn't ask. No.
Maybe you
I
were
know it's on
busy.
C-SPAN. I know whatever's on C-SPAN. Why didn't I see this picked up by the mainstream media?
It was picked up. They've been talking about it all day.
All day what? Today?
Yes. It happened at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Wait to see. Let's see. Okay. It's a good answer.
1 p.m.
The
Eastern time.
Don's
today.
rage. I'm the fucking president. Well, I could see him saying that. Broken
Yeah, he
dishes,
did that.
tablecloth.
Wait till
Wanted
the ketchup
money.
is on the wall in the Oval Room. That's
Oh,
something.
no, not the ketchup. No.
But I thought it was sad for any president to
Really.
act the way he had.
Johnson
He
used
had,
to take a shit in front of his staff.
oh, I believe that. But in his what they call the monster, the limo, he tried to grab the wheel and to turn it around because he wanted to go to the Capitol. He
He
wanted to go
turned
to
the
the
wheel.
House.
He tried to turn the wheel. How did he do that when he sits separated from the
I
front of
don't
that
know.
car?
Maybe there was an
Oh,
opening.
no. Wait. Turn that off, Mr. Midnight Movie. How does Trump, when he sits separated, have you seen that car? Have you seen the way that car's designed?
Truly,
He
I
would
have
have to
not
get
seen the
out.
car with my
He
two
would have
eyes.
to, well, I have. He would have to get out of the compartment that he's in and exit the vehicle to get in the front.
Well, I don't
How
know
would
what the
he turn?
seating arrangements
How
were
would
that
he
particular
turn? You
day.
don't think? Oh, you think maybe Trump was sitting up front?
No, I hope not. That's a dangerous
So
place
how
for
would
him to
he?
be.
That's exactly right. How would he turn the wheel of that vehicle?
He reached and this is what the
Reach through
hearing
what?
showed.
Wait. Reach through what?
He reached and put his hand on the steering wheel and tried to turn it back to the
So
Capitol
where Trump always
because
sits is in the back.
let me finish. They
Trump's in
would
the
not
back of
take
this
him.
vehicle.
They would only take him to the West Wing. They were not listening to
It was
what
a
he had to
monorail.
say
It wasn't a car. What do you mean it would only take him to the West Wing?
because they wouldn't take him to the Capitol because there would be so many criminal charges if he tried to interfere with the election, what do they call it? Election confirmation.
You
I'm
mean
not
the
saying that
stolen?
right.
You mean the stolen election?
Well, however you want to
You
term it.
mean the same? You mean the same ones that it was at Raffensperger? And why are
Well,
you playing that? You
if
mean
he
that?
interfered,
Did
then
you
there
mean
would have
that?
been charges,
Did
and
you
you
mean
know
that
that.
Raffensperger in Georgia, the one that has brought up charges against some of the counties for election fraud? You mean that guy?
No, not him. I'm
So
Who's
talking
the who's
about
the
they would be
who's
sued
the
everywhere.
is it the
They would be
attorney
in
general?
trouble.
Who? Angela?
If they took him to the Capitol to go to the House of Representatives and he interfered with a lawful election confirmation, there would have
I'm
been so
sorry.
many
Is he
problems.
barred from being in the Capitol?
They would not take him that day. They refused. They took him to the West Wing,
Maybe for a
you know, and he
safety.
was,
Maybe for safety. But
and
is
that's
he
why he
barred?
grabbed the wheel because he
He
wanted to go
grabbed
to
the
the
wheel
Capitol.
from the back seat of the Beast.
Now, I don't know exactly where he was sitting. I haven't seen
I see.
what's called the
So why
Beast.
don't we get a picture of what the Beast looks like and find out whether or not the two compartments are together
Well,
or
I think that's a
separate?
good idea.
I think it's a great idea because I can tell you already that the compartment where Trump sits and his wife and maybe a few other people, I don't believe that is even possible to connect to the front seat. You know why? If there was a
Almost,
bomb or somebody was shooting, that is made like a cocoon to protect the occupant. Even that
oh,
bumbling
yes.
old scumbag shit kicker Biden who sits in it now. He's not able to get to the front seat or the steering wheel.
Well, he
I
can't walk
find it
down a flight of
amazing.
stairs. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry. Let's be honest. What?
Biden can't walk down a flight of stairs. Well,
Biden can't do anything well. He's a sick man. We're
that's
not
my
talking
point.
about.
You
We're
can't
not
really
talking
compare
about
the
Biden.
two.
We're talking about how the beast is constructed.
Well, you mentioned Biden. But
That's
anyway,
right.
let's go back to the Beast.
Biden is sitting in the beast, and it's the same thing. You think Biden can reach the steering wheel,
I don't
or
know.
did they install a phony steering wheel in the back for Biden so he thinks he's driving it?
Oh, gosh, that's funny. You know, there
It is
used to be backseat drivers where they had like
right.
how fast the driver was going
But
and
do you
everything.
really believe that they constructed the beast so that it could be easily accessed from the front seat?
Well, I
Because
don't know how easily it was for him to reach through, but
if the front part of the beast was infiltrated by bad people, do you think that it's easy for those bad people to get into the compartment where Trump is?
Well, I
because
think a
that
lot of these
compartment,
questions could be answered with a picture of
I
the
think
beast.
so. A picture of the interior of the beast.
Yes,
So,
that's better
wait a
said.
second. So, did this woman say that he stuck his head because if there was anything there,
Well, she didn't say anything
it
about the
wouldn't
head.
be.
She said that this is what she said
Well, how
happened.
did he get his
That
arms
he
through
reached
there if his
over.
head didn't go
Okay,
through?
well, I can tell you what she said. You can argue it.
Wait a minute? Does Trump have arms that are 6 feet long? Did
No,
he
he's got
lean
4
backwards
arms,
and
but he
stick
is
his arms
6'4".
through this
He
mystery
is
hole in the
6'4".
car?
He's tall,
Look,
but I
I've
don't
never seen
know.
an interior shot of the beast. I don't think you have either.
No, I
But
haven't.
but
I'm
common sense,
affirming
which
that.
I have an abundance of, tells me that if it's designed to withstand an explosion, that the
Mhm.
compartment that the president's in is ultra protected. I'm sure that the front seat is protected. The people sitting in the front of the vehicle are protected as well.
I don't think they would
However,
ever
I
allow
couldn't
them.
believe that they would make a design today with this car that somebody could easily go from front seat to back seat or vice versa.
Well, I can tell you what the young lady said. She
Oh,
said that
I'm
he
very interested
grabbed
to hear what the young lady said. So,
well, while
has
he's looking for the clip, no.
well, Brian doesn't have anything prepared, so he never knows what to put on.
Well,
Just
we're
anything.
rambling on. He's just waiting for us to shut up. I mean,
No, he's
honestly,
not. He'll put on
I
the
bet he
dogs.
is.
He'll put on the dogs that sing Merry Christmas song.
Okay.
He's a bit.
I can tell you that she
There's a lot
said,
of, there's a lot of speculation that she did lie and that Trump would never say anything like that. So,
But because she said it, we must believe her, right?
no.
well, she did have some evidence.
Wait a minute. What was her evidence?
She had notes that she had taken in different meetings. It was on the letterhead of Mark Meadows. She had a lot of things like that.
You know, I had
And
a doctor
I
in a.
didn't watch every single second.
I had a
Go ahead.
doctor in a malpractice lawsuit, Angela, write notes in the records, the patient records that weren't there when treatment was given. I had a doctor put notes in the side. In fact, he ran out of room, so he not just wrote it on the side. In other words, normally you write it underneath the narrative,
That makes
but he
sense.
wrote it
Yeah.
on the side of the notes, and he
That's
ran
funny.
out of room, so he wrote it down the side of the paper.
Well, that's neither here or there.
Has anybody
My point
forensically?
is that
Has anybody forensically checked the age of that ink, and was it the same ink? In
well,
fact,
that wasn't brought up if it had
wasn't
or
even
had
smart
not.
enough.
You know, if you're
My
going to ask me a
doctor wasn't
question,
even
I'm
smart
going to
enough.
answer it.
Okay,
You
my
asked
doctor wasn't
if
even smart enough to use the same ink.
anybody had
Angela,
anybody,
have you seen this paper?
Howard. I saw what I saw on the TV.
What'd you see?
I was not in the
Yeah,
hearing itself.
what did you see? Tell me.
I was not in the hearing itself. So I can't tell you that I saw with my own 2 eyes in front of me the notepad.
Let me see.
But this is very histrionic. It is inflammatory. And it's shocking. It's shocking. I mean,
It's histrionic.
yes, I think it's histrionic.
A man has a histrionic what?
Who said I was referring to the man?
What was histrionic then? Her testimony?
Was it? Why
I'm
don't we
asking
listen
you.
and
You're
find
the one that
out?
saw it. Well, it doesn't
Well, you
sound
just
histrionic.
assumed
So
I
who are
was
you
talking
referring
about
to?
Trump. So now I know what you really think
Well,
of
right,
Trump.
but who are you referring to as being
And do you
histrionic?
have a clip ready so he can hear what she actually said?
Can I see what was written? Are we able to see
Well,
it, or
one
are we
step
just
at a
told it
time.
exists?
Why don't you hear what she had to say? Because it's
Well, no, I'd
jaw-dropping.
like to know if what was written that she's reading
Brian,
from.
you there?
Did we get to see it?
Brian, I'm waving to
Brian,
you over the table. You there?
Brian is having a problem. He's thinking about enemas and
No,
well,
you're not going to talk that way about him. You're going to be nice.
Yeah,
Why
please
do I
be
have to be
nice,
nice?
Alex.
Why do I have
Brian,
to be
you'd be nice too.
I'm
Do you
trying.
have a clip of where she was talking about,
By the way,
either
I
the
don't know
White House?
who Coco the gorilla is, but I certainly did pee in the shower.
Okay.
Ridiculous. All right. Here's a
Wait,
tweet.
wait, 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 wait,
I'll
Brian.
mute myself.
You don't pee in your own shower?
All right, Howard.
Howard, that's enough. Let's hear
Brian,
what
Brian, do you pee in your own shower?
And
Miss Hutchinson had to say.
you're going to be removed for silliness. All right, I'm going to play this clip.
Stage.
You pussy.
Very concerned about.
But let's play this one. Throwing food against the wall. Go ahead.
Ms. Hutchinson, how did the president react to hearing that news?
Around the time that I understand the AP article went live, I remember hearing noise coming from down the hallway, so I poked my head out of the office. And I saw the valet walking towards our office. He had said, "Get the chief down to the dining room, the president wants him." So Mark went down to the dining room, came back to the office a few minutes later. After Mark had returned, I left the office and went down to the dining room, and I noticed that the door was propped open and the valet was inside the dining room changing the tablecloth off of the dining room table. He motioned for me to come in and then pointed towards the front of the room near the fireplace mantle and the TV, where I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall and there was a shattered porcelain plate on the floor. The valet had articulated that the president was extremely angry at the Attorney General's AP interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall, which was causing them to have to clean up. So I grabbed a towel and started wiping the ketchup off of the wall to help the valet out. And he said something to the effect of, "He's really ticked off about this. I would stay clear of him. He's really, really ticked off about this right now."
And Ms. Hutchinson, was this the only instance
my.
that you are aware of where the president threw dishes?
Oh my.
It's not.
And
He's
are
a
there
dish
other
thrower.
instances in the dining room that you recall where he expressed his anger?
He's a dish thrower. Oh.
There were several times throughout my tenure with the Chief of Staff that I was aware of him either throwing dishes or flipping the tablecloth to let all the contents of the table go onto the floor and likely break or go everywhere.
And Ms. Hutchinson, Attorney General Barr described to
Play that back 20 seconds of her sitting there giving that testimony. And make it bigger. Make it full screen.
If I make it full screen, it won't show up.
Then just make it bigger.
Well, you can find the same link.
I'm not looking for the same link while he's playing it. Let's see her and make it bigger.
If I make it bigger, can you see it when I do? Okay, I made it bigger. Can you see it or no?
No.
No, I can't.
There you go. When I make it bigger, it does.
There's another choice. You can choose the one with the long rectangle, not the full screen. That one.
Oh.
Try that. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
Now play
good.
it. Now play as much. Now play. I want to
Oh,
watch
that's
her.
something new. Thanks, Howard.
Yes.
And Ms. Hutchinson, Attorney General Barr described to the committee the president's angry reaction when he finally met with President Trump. Let's listen.
Put it back to her. I want to see her talking.
This is
Not
good
Bob
too.
Barr. I don't give a shit. I
Oh,
want to look
yeah.
at her talking.
All right.
Put it back. You skipped ahead all over the place. Put
Okay,
it back so I can
Principal
see her
Howard.
give
Principal
testimony.
Howard, tone it down a little bit.
Okay.
He's fixing
Don't
it.
tell me to tone it down, Angela.
Aware
Well, I
of
mean, he's fixing it.
issues?
Yes.
It's not.
And are there other instances in the dining room that you recall where he expressed his anger?
There were several times throughout my tenure with the Chief of Staff that I was aware of him either throwing dishes or flipping the tablecloth to let all the contents of the table go onto the floor.
Pause that.
Likely breaker.
Okay, go ahead.
Those shoulders don't even move. Now I'm going to tell you what that means. That means she's absolutely in portrayal. She's not feeling the emotion of what she's saying.
That shoulder pad.
Normally the body sings when you tell a story.
But that's
When you
shoulder
tell the
pads.
truth. Those shoulder pads, I don't give a shit if she's got waffles underneath, Angela. Those shoulder pads don't move. Those shoulders haven't moved. Go look at the woman's face on the right behind her left shoulder and see if her shoulder moves from the hairline. Go back a little bit and let's watch her talk.
Well, ask
How
Brian.
far are you fucking going back? Honest to God. Go back a minute and you go back 10 minutes.
The Attorney General's AP interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall.
Those shoulders don't move on either side.
The towel and started wiping the ketchup off.
All right, guys, we're gonna go to when Trump lunged at the Secret Service. Here we go.
You know what? Do you know what that man? No, don't go jumping everywhere.
Good,
Do you know
good.
what that
Go
means?
to it.
I'm
Howard.
going.
Do you know what that means?
Howard, let's
I
see if her
can't
shoulders
wait.
move.
I can't
see
wait
if
till the body language ghost to tear her apart and pick this apart because
Okay.
just based on her shoulders, she's not moving at all. She
Okay.
is frozen.
She might hear. I don't know.
Might hear what?
Well, okay, let's go to this one. This is when she
Might
talked.
hear what? What is she? What do you mean? She might hear what?
All right, guys. This is.
I want an answer to my question. Stop
No, let him
interrupting.
finish. Interrupting. Come
He's
on,
not
calm it
finishing
down.
anything. He's not even paying attention.
Okay, that's enough.
Why are her shoulders not moving?
Maybe in this next
When
clip they
people
will.
give a
Let's find
story,
out. Let's
well,
pay
I don't
attention
think
to
it
her
will.
shoulders.
I don't think so.
I've never heard that before. All right, Howard.
Because you don't know anything, Brian.
There you go. All right, guys. Let's go to Trump lunged at Secret Service.
To the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, "We're not. We don't have the assets to do it. It's not secure. We're going back to the West Wing." The president had very strong, a very angry response to that. The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president. Take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering
Look how
wheel,
frozen she is.
grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take
She's
it.
not once accessed memory.
We're going
Stop.
to the
Stop.
West Wing."
She's not once accessed memory, which you can tell by she would roll her eyes up and to the left. She's not once. She's in complete portrayal. This is something she has rehearsed, including look at her shoulders. Now you get anybody, FBI, CIA, the body language ghost, any of them, because I've learned all about this stuff. You would think JP might know this, but he doesn't because he's such a fraud.
Oh, JP doesn't know anything.
JP
Now,
doesn't know shit. Why are her shoulders don't her body doesn't move?
okay,
I'm
she's
using her
20. I want you
shoulders
to
as
think.
an example because her shoulders are attached to her body. She's not
24.
moving.
I believe she rehearsed these
You
stories. I do
damn
believe.
right. You're damn right. She's not telling it from memory.
But-
This is rehearsed.
But
Thank you, Ann.
anyone that's 24 probably would rehearse these, knowing that the whole country and world.
Bullshit. She's got a job
No.
as working for Mark Meadows. She's in the White House. Don't portray her as if she's some kind of idiot that needs to be led around by the end of her nose. She rehearsed this speech.
I believe she
rehearsed
did. She's
this answer.
24. She's
What does that
24.
got to do with anything?
I would be scared to death if I was
She's
24.
24. Well, if this is her
a federal
story.
hearing, I'm going to finish what I'm saying.
Oh, well, okay. You're wrong.
But she's in front of a federal hearing and the whole world's watching her. I think I would make sure the topics that I knew they were going to ask me about, that I had a good, concise answer. And I
you
didn't
mean
mess
you would
up.
sit there? You mean you would sit there and not move your body at all because that's not normal?
No, I'd be focused on
indicative.
telling
That's
the
indicative
information.
of somebody who is portraying. They're not telling a true
who's
story.
24, Howard.
What does 24 have to do with it? I'm sorry. At what age, Angela? 24. What's the significance of 24?
The brain's not
No.
fully developed until age 24.
Bullshit. Are you
that's
telling me
true.
so how did she do her job as Mark Meadows? What was she?
She was a White House aide to Mark Meadows.
She was a White House aide to Mark Meadows.
Her
Okay.
office was across from his, and he was, I think, 2 doors down from the president.
Is that true? Have you checked that out?
Well, we could fact check it. They just
Would,
had the
would
hearing
we
earlier,
contact the
and
fact checkers on Facebook to
had
do that?
I had voted today. My life has been a little bit full today to fact check it. Check it.
If they, we're
Check it.
gonna.
I
Why don't
can't
we
believe I
just go
said
to the
check.
ones? Why don't we just go to the fact checkers on Facebook and see what they got to say?
Well, why don't we listen to what she had to say, and then we'll rip her
I'm
apart.
noticing her body language,
Okay.
and right out the gate, she hasn't moved for a long time.
Well, I think
She
you're going to
sits
have a
there.
lot more material to rip apart. Well, do you still have that clip, Brian?
Yes, I do.
All right. I'm going to mute myself.
Brian is thinking about Dyson vacuums and fans.
Going to the Capitol. Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. When Mr. Renato had recounted this story to me, he
Okay, stop right there.
his clavicles.
So here's something very traumatic.
Got
She's still not moving. She's still not moving her body. This is something very traumatic, very emotional, and yet she's sitting here in complete betrayal, not moving at all. She rehearsed this. I don't believe this happened, because if it did happen, it would evoke emotions in her from reliving that day, reliving that moment. I believe she's a liar. She made it all up. But
Go on
I
with the
could be
clip,
wrong.
Brian.
Must believe her because she's a woman.
I
and
didn't
she's
say
telling
you
the
had to
story.
believe her. I'm saying hear what she has to say. There's a lot more to rip apart.
So who's Coco the gorilla? The driver already said Trump didn't touch the steering wheel. So did he touch the steering wheel or did he not? I still don't believe that there's a little window that can roll down between the interior cat of the beast and the people that sit in front. I don't believe it. I don't believe it was designed that way.
To get to bed pretty soon, so
Well,
You're
finish the clip then.
whiny waste of a man.
10 seconds. We got about 10
Do
seconds.
you know what the word? You know what the word panty waste is?
Sir,
Quiet.
take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol. Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. When Mr. Renato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
Look how controlled she is. So all your nonsense, Angela, about her being 24, she's showing little to no emotion.
Well, I think it does play a factor. And she's 24
What
today.
plays the factor?
She was 22 then, or maybe
Oh
21.
my God! I'm surprised. Did she wear underwear, or did she forget to put that on?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if you listen to her
Well,
old
what do you think?
testimony, you
Well,
would have
I'm
a lot
watching.
more. You would have a lot
Let
more to
me
rip
let me
apart
let
than
me help
what
you
little
out.
things you said.
I understand. Let me help you out with something. Communication is 60% visual. That is a standard that's well known. It's 60% visual. I'm watching her body movements.
Mhm.
I'm hearing what she's saying, but I'm watching her body movements and the way that her body is moving or not moving. And in this case, it's not moving. Now, when you relive something so traumatic with Trump just raging inside the beast, Rage of the Beast should be a new movie that they can put out. I'm sure. What's his
Inside the monster.
George and me. Who's the what's the fat fuck that did that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Brian knows. Come on, let's include Brian.
Well, I think you should watch the whole hearing, because I would like to hear what you had to say about.
Oh well,
Ms.
I'm gonna watch the hearing now that I know it happened. But
Yeah.
I'm watching the 60% of communication that she is giving that is her body movement or lack of body movement. And I find it very
I thought
strange.
she was
There's no
stoic.
body movement.
I thought she was so stoic. I'm like, how could she be so
Did
matter
you?
of fact and be 24?
Yes, you're right, because it's not true, and she's rehearsed it. She's
Or she's
acting.
on a lot of Xanax. I don't
She's
know.
acting. No, she's acting.
Oh, that is not nice to put on there. Do you see what's written there?
I don't give a shit.
I think it's nasty.
I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, it's gone now. It was before what Darren had to say on there.
All right, guys.
Nobody pays attention to what Darren says.
Guys,
I do. I think he's a nice person.
I have to get to bed.
My grandmother was a nice person, but when she lost her mind, nobody paid attention to what she said. She's like Biden.
Well,
All right, guys. I
Yeah,
Can
have.
you imagine nobody pays attention to Biden?
Brian's talking. Brian's talking.
Yeah.
I bet you nobody pays attention to Biden. Well, Biden is trying to very cowardly run away.
No, we've been on here over an hour.
There's no running
That's
away.
longer than most people would listen.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
Brian.
I'm well. Yeah, you've been in my head for all that time. I woke up. I told you. I woke up. I was in a panic. It was like
You
oh
love
God,
my voice. I'm
I've
so
gone
excited.
to hell.
Oh,
No,
you're
I
making me
thought
so
I thought I had died
overjoyed.
in my sleep and went to hell.
Oh no, you know you went to heaven because that's the only place I'd be.
I'm gonna remove it, okay, guys. I gotta end the show.
Why do you have to end the show, Brian? What do you have to do
Because I have
tomorrow?
to
That's so
Because it's
important?
been over an hour. An hour should probably be the limit
It's
for a
9
show like
o'clock
this.
in what time is it in
Oh,
LA?
where's your show, Howard? Where's yours?
What time is it in LA?
Howard, it's 10 o'clock, and I gotta get to bed. Howard,
Brian, what time do you wake up?
Howard, I gotta get to bed. So
What time do you wake up? I'll have
None of
somebody
your
waiting.
business.
there we go.
We'll have somebody outside with breakfast. What time do you wake up?
You're making no sense. Okay, D'Angela, anything to add? I gotta remove everything.
Well, I look forward to hearing Howard's dissection of this hearing that happened today, the January 6th hearings. I really look forward to hearing what you have to say, Howard. So
Body language
hopefully
will do a
in a
job
couple
on.
of days,
All right,
maybe
Howard,
you might have that ready.
right.
Okay, in a couple of days. Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
end the show, so I'm gonna put everyone off this.
Hey,
What?
that's enough. That's enough.
What?
All right, guys. That is all the time we have for anyone. Can anyone mention this movie? Can anyone mention the movie this theme song is from? Huh? All right, guys. Is there any room for moderation in this day and age? And it doesn't look like there is. But those are just two individuals. Maybe we'll find some moderate people next time. Always take care, and to all my Christian, Muslim, atheist, gay, lesbian, all my noble people, I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself.